Hey everyone, my name is Mark, and today we'll be walking through a new featured workflow which is going to allow you to build an entire world from a single reference image. Whether you're working on a 30-second commercial or a feature film, we'll walk through all the steps you need to get started. Let's jump into it.
I want to create a sequence around a mammoth hunt that's going to require a lot of consistent settings and characters. Let's see if we can do it with the story panels workflow. The first part of the workflow is the starting image generator. If you don't already have a starting image for your sequence, you can generate it here with a simple prompt. All you need is a basic description of what you'd like to see in the scene, and then you can add elements like shot type, as well as aesthetic qualities like cinematic. Doesn't have to be too complicated because below, our prompt enhancer is going to turn our basic prompt into the perfect prompt for Nano Banana Pro. Now we just need to shift select both the Claude and Nano Banana Pro nodes, and we'll click Run Nodes to kick off our first generation. Once we have our output, we can click on it to expand the image. Looks like the prompt worked really nicely to get us that cinematic look, and this is going to work perfectly for our first starting image. If we're not happy with the output, we could adjust the input prompt, or we can also add an additional reference image here. We can hook up to the Claude node, and it'll allow us to take in the aesthetic of our reference image and incorporate that into the prompt as well. Once we've settled on our image, we can click and drag on the open canvas, and we'll start generating our story panels. Again, we just need a simple prompt about what we want to see in the scene that we're going to extract from our initial image. I want to get some establishing shots of the mountains, so I'm going to type that in. And then above that, we have our system prompt, which we, again, don't need to do much with. It's all set up for our story panel prompt. We'll shift select our Claude and Nano Banana Pro nodes, click Run Nodes, and that'll kick off our story panel generation. Clicking on the image, we can see the power of story panels. From one single image, we now have 3 new establishing shots that look like they were shot in the exact same location at the same time of day with the same camera. This level of consistency will be essential as we go into cutting this all together into a sequence. The next part of the workflow is the panel upscaler. Here we can extract each individual image from the story panel and upscale it. The story panels default to a 21:9 aspect ratio, but we can expand this out to any horizontal aspect ratio that Nano Banana supports using this aspect ratio prompt. The Nano Banana Pro nodes correspond to the top, middle, and bottom images. We can click Run on whichever ones we want to extract. With our images rendered, we can click on each one to make sure everything is looking good. We can see that this is now a full 2K resolution image. You can also change your resolution in the Nano Banana Pro node up to 4K, and if you do want to adjust that aspect ratio, you should do it in the Nano Banana Pro node as well. The final step is to turn our images into videos. We've hooked up our image to a Gen 4.5 video node and then a basic text prompt. Gen 4.5 has really good prompt adherence though, so if you want to add any specific camera movements or action that you want to see in the scene, put it here in the prompt. After our videos have generated, we can double click on them to see how they turned out. Just like in traditional filmmaking, every shot won't be perfect, so don't be afraid to try another prompt or run another image if you're not getting the results that you're looking for. I think these drone shots are working nicely for our establishing shots though, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the mammoths. Going back to the story panel inputs, we already have our mammoths as our input image, so we just need to adjust the prompt to get some basic descriptions of what we want to see the mammoths doing. And once again, we'll shift select both nodes and click Run. Opening up the output, we can see that Story Panels has done an amazing job of keeping our environment and mammoths consistent across these generations, so we can move over to the Panel Upscaler app to choose which ones we want to upscale. We'll continue this process for all the sets of shots we need for our sequence. I'll bring in an image of my hero character, and Story Panels can generate this same consistent character across multiple scenes. With all our assets ready to go, let's cut it together to see how it looks.